Tommie's Honest Advice. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is going to be a movie review on the recent Saw. I know I'm late. Apologies for the noise in the background. I have two birds, Yippee and Juju, then I also have the AC on. It's hot, so I had to turn it on. Back to it, let's get into this movie. As far as this rating out of 5, I would give it 4. Okay, let's start with the characters. Of course, the main character, like, hands down, on top of the list of horrors that I can tolerate, he's probably one of my favorites. I think he's about 82 now. If you don't know, I'm talking about the character that plays the main character in all, majority of the Saws. And is behind, although the main character has flip-flop, in this particular one, he's the center of it, okay? As far as the other characters in this particular Saw, I think some of them lacked character development. I did like the dual characters, right? With this not being too much details, some of these characters in the movie, they're going to be playing multiple roles. Now, whether it's realistic to you or unrealistic, you have to decide on that, but I loved it, of course. Let's get into the graphics and the effects of the movie. I love that it lived up to the legacy of what Saw came from, started out as. It's gruesome, it's painful. I went to go see this by myself in the dine-in theater, and I could tell you, excuse me for my voice, still congested, still kind of sick. Apologies, back to it. I was covering my face, covering one eye. I was on the edge of my seat, okay? Now this particular one was about 2 hours long, and I think this might be the last one. And if this was the last one, I think they gave it somewhat justice. Now, let's talk about the storyline. Of course, there's always a twist in Saw. If you haven't seen Saw, I have recently been rewatching the Saw since it's been so long. To just kind of get, you know, just to see if there's any interconnectedness, since it's been so long since they made Saw. I think the last one they made that was officially under Saw, not a spinoff, was probably like 2017. So it's been a couple of years, but villains. I am a fan of villains if it's played right. Now, I did have an issue with one of the villains, I would say, in this particular movie. This particular villain, you will be able to see when you see it. I don't know, it lacked real to me. I don't know, it just kind of felt like she's playing this character, but she's playing a character, right? She didn't intertwine it to become herself with the character. If you're an actor, then you know what I'm talking about. If not, then just try to get what I'm saying. But when you get the script, you're supposed to align certain things with the character you're playing with who you are, and kind of go from there. But I think that this particular villain, I think she lacked it. Now, let me get into ending, climax. Ending was good, but I did expect more. I will say that's one of the things I was kind of disappointed in. That's why I gave it 4 out of 5, was the ending. And I felt it could have been more dramatic, more gruesome, but they did good. Now the graphics, I'll get back to. Some of it was a bit like wasn't good, or you can kind of tell like ooh, they needed more time to develop it and slow it down with some of the graphics. But hands down, might be one of my favorite horrors that I've seen. I'm not a big fan of horror, but I am a big fan and have been a big fan of Saw. So when I looked up, I was just randomly looking it up because I didn't know another Saw came out. And I'm like, oh, I gotta go see this. And I was not disappointed. I wasn't. So if you're into gruesome, gory, edge of your seat thriller, horror, not too scary, check it out. Check it out. That's all I'll say. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. Subscribe.